Hello and welcome to GPTV. My name is Philip Kingston.
I'm Gary Peer.
And what a big day it was yesterday. I must say, Gary, it was a very lovely barbecue that we had at your place.
Glad you enjoyed it, Phil.
The meat, you cooked the meat absolutely perfectly.
If real estate ever goes belly up, mate, that's my future.
Your wife makes an absolutely mean salad.
She does.
Although I thought the desserts were pretty ordinary, just to give you a bit of feedback for next year.
Fair enough. Well, constructive criticism is always good for you, Philip. Let's talk about real estate if we can, because it was a pretty quiet weekend. And don't tell me you're going to put a bar up. We got 100%. We only had one auction, but anyway.
We actually had two, Gary. We sold one beforehand and one under the hammer, so it was 100% clearance rate at Gary Peer & Associates. 2 out of 2, so it was a pretty fabulous weekend.
Quiet one, but the flat that we did sell at auction, Philip, was in Waratah Avenue, just a 1-bedroom in Glen Huntly. In fact, we sold everything that was sold in Glen Huntly on the weekend, which was only that one auction, and that was sold with a reserve of 210 for 222. Still had 3 bidders at it. That's a pretty good effort for a 1-bedroom flat.
Sensational.
No job too small, no job too big, Gary Peer & Associates. Let's talk about the weekend upcoming, this big weekend, post-Cup, post-Derby.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Melbourne Cup, a little bit more about the Melbourne Cup.
Derby was fun.
Derby was great, and I know that you didn't get home till very, very late.
I saw Nicole Kidman at the Derby. She's
Did you?
a very beautiful woman, yeah, very tall.
Do you know what? Apparently, somewhere at a coffee shop in Sydney, Nicole Kidman is sitting at a table somewhere now saying, the Derby was great, and I bumped into Gary Peer.
Oh, I'm sure she'd be saying that. Let's talk about some of the properties coming up, Phil, because we've got a pretty big weekend. Firstly, we have an exciting auction in Bentley, in Fairbank Road, Philip, and that's coming up on Saturday. That is 3 at 8 Fairbank Road, or Fairbank Avenue in Bentley, and Leor's going to do that. Daniel Rees is handling that. That is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1 of 3 single-level villa.
I believe it's been well attended, and the boys are expecting a competitive auction there.
They are, as we are later in the afternoon on Saturday, Philip, at 1:30. I've got the honours in number 7B, Ripley Grove. Let's have a look.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not. Ripley, I'm going to be there, looking forward to that. That's also a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom villa.
Single story,
It's one
in immaculate condition. In fact, I've never seen a villa that's been lived in for, I think they've been there for 8 or 9 years, maybe even longer.
It's a credit to the owner, Philip.
Not a chip or scratch, Gary.
No, it's a fantastic one, probably somewhere in that $750 to $850 price range. We're not sure exactly where, but that is a beautiful.
All will be revealed.
It will on Saturday. I'm going to be doing that auction, Phil, and I'm looking forward to it. On Sunday, we are going to be auctioning this property right here. Number 8.
What a
Lucky number.
It is a lucky number, Gary, and the
Good feng shui.
owners have been lucky to live here, but the new owner will be even luckier because
Why is that?
all of the hard work's been done by the creative duo behind furniture powerhouse Global West.
Right.
An amazing couple, because just about every piece of furniture in this house is designed and imported by their company. But this house is one of the best I've ever seen. Beautifully architect designed. The finishes are absolutely incredible. North-facing back garden. The pool, it's like being in Bali or Port Douglas. Really, it's an oasis in the centre of Caulfield.
Yes, and a good position, a great street, a street that continues to improve too as new homes get developed and built, but a great location, Phil. You've got the tram at the end of the street, you've got the shops not far away.
And you've got the Caulfield Town Hall just up the road, so you can just whip up there and pay your rates.
Absolutely.
Once a year.
Absolutely.
Or every quarter if you like.
Absolutely. We've got a busy November, Philip. There's other properties to talk about and review. One of those is at 11 Newington Grove.
That's a great address.
It is a good
Especially
address.
if you're into racing, Gary. Walking distance to Caulfield Racecourse.
Could be good for a jockey, a horse trainer, or anybody at all that's looking for a 4-bedroom house or home in a great street there in Newington Grove. This is a beautiful home, Philip, and not too many houses you can get in North Caulfield around that $1 million mark.
No.
Freestanding, good block of land in good order.
Excellent. Lot of
11
potential.
Newington Grove. That comes up on Saturday week, on the 17th of November at 10:30 a.m. Let's talk a little bit about another great one that's coming up that weekend, and that is a very nice period home we have in Umarilla Road in Caulfield South, a very affordable one too. Philip, a very pretty period home, north side of the street, lovely back garden. We're looking forward to that. That's a very pretty period home.
It is, and good parcel of land, and actually that house is really going to sell for land value, so somebody's going to pick themselves up a really good period home that's just waiting to be renovated.
That's on Sunday the 18th of November, Philip. We also have another one in Manor Grove. Tell us a bit about that one.
Well, Manor Grove is a fantastic spot, Gary. A lot of people don't know about Manor Grove because there's not many houses there, but it's also the house where the fabulous and famous and national historic building Labassa is, and the Labassa fabulous 2-storey mansion.
Yes.
Anyway,
Not worried about the ghosts? Labassa ghosts.
I'm not worried about the ghost, and you shouldn't be worried about buying a house in Manor Grove because I don't personally believe that ghost exists.
The ghosts protect you, Philip.
Anyway, this
Friendly
is
ghosts.
a single-storey period home, also in need of some tender loving care, livable as it is on a lovely parcel of land, approximately 700 square metres, great position, great house, great potential.
Good address too. An interesting thing happened through the week, Phil. We talked last month about all of our clearance rates, what's been selling and what hasn't been selling. I did a little tally, a little sneaky one.
A little tally, did you, Gary? Okay.
You know, we sold 5 properties last week that were previously passed in. So of those few that were left over, with our great clearance rate, just about sold everything.
Well, I was looking at last weekend and I noticed that we reported last week in GPTV that we'd sold 18 out of 21. Now, we recorded that, of course, on Tuesday, but as of Thursday of last week, which is now 2 days after GPTV was shot, we'd actually sold 20 out of 21.
And the 21st, we had a pretty good offer on. The vendor chose not to accept it, which is their right and entitlement, but almost a clean sweep. But from the weeks before, there was a couple. There was one in Glenora Road. We sold that one. There was another one, another apartment in Paran. We sold that. So it's actually been amazing. Everything's been selling.
And I think the viewers might be interested to know that whilst we traditionally have a very high clearance rate in comparison to the industry, and as you think our clearance rate is generally, let's call it 75 to 80% against an industry average of somewhere between 55 and 60%. Now, what the viewers might be interested to know is that something like 90% of the properties that we pass in, 90% of those properties would be sold within 3 weeks of them being passed in. So we run with a clearance rate of 75 to 85%. Of the ones that are passed in, 90% are sold within 3 weeks of the auction.
You're boasting again, aren't you?
I am, Gary, but I think it's an important statistic for
boastful
GPTV
fellow.
viewers to know about.
You are a boastful fellow.
I am.
Now, while you're being boastful, Philip, I think there's something else we can boast about, and that is...
What would that be, Gary?
Well, that is that this GPTV, which has become very popular,
Yes.
and as you said last week, you said it's still running. The reason it's still running is because we run it, so no one else can take it off the screens because we're running it. So isn't that great how it's still running?
Immune to the ratings.
It's amazing, isn't it? It could be just you and me watching it. It would still be running though, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
But it did actually get an award, and it was an award we even submitted for.
I believe it won a cup, Gary, that's about to be handed to
Did
you
it
by
won
a
a cup?
mystery arm.
There's an arm coming into screen now, thank you. And just like the Addams Family, like Thing, it passed me this incredible cup. And we actually won this, very proud. There's some great shots coming on the screen now. Me and Darren Crongon, there's
nothing in it.
no ashes in there. It's not your old late aunt or anything like that. We won this because it was for innovation in technology, and it was about GPTV. And it was very kind of Robert Bevan through Best Practice to give us this Commerce Cup. And we were rated from Agents Australia, Australasian wide, Philip. So we're very proud of this, and thank you to the viewers of GPTV for continuing to support and watch our bit of mania every week, a bit of real estate mania.
And I think if we can win a cup, Gary, I think this show has got the potential to be syndicated right round Australia.
Of course it does. Today, the Commerce Cup, tomorrow the Melbourne Cup. We've got a year to work on getting a winner there, Philip. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up. One of the things that's about to happen
Maybe that mystery arm could just take the cup away.
Maybe
We're just waiting for that mystery
arm.
arm.
And look at that, that's just incredible. That is what can happen these days.
That's a technological breakthrough.
It might have been the ghost from Labassa. Let's talk a little bit just about what else we're doing technologically, Phil, because we now have the St Kilda report. We have Jeremy Rosens, who is doing what's called the St Kilda report, and that's going to be coming at you very shortly, Phil. People are going to be able to access that. We're going to be sending it out.
We filmed the first episode,
We
so
did. And
any
it's a
viewers,
summary of what's
any
going
viewers
on.
that also want not just GPTV but the St Kilda market report, we will find a solution to actually getting it to you.
We're going to find some
work that one out.
brilliant way to actually let you watch it, but that is going to be coming out, and we'll know how to do that. We might even have something at the end of the show to tell you, I don't know. But it's the St Kilda report through what's going on in St Kilda via Jeremy Rosens. A busy weekend, lots of auctions, Phil. There's a lot happening. It's November, it's spring, it's still exciting. The cup's been run and won, and forward we go for the rest of the year.
And just in conclusion, Gary, what the viewers might not know is that there's only 7 auction weekends left for the year 2012. Right, yeah. And we are very, very busy at the office at the moment writing auctions now for February and March of 2013.
Can somebody sell this year if they want to?
Well, they can. Still got a couple of weeks to get in, and we can rush a couple through. But I do want to talk to people about the fact that we're now booking our auctions for February and March of next year. We're not stockpiling, but
that's a cheap term, isn't it?
But we are working on those, and certainly if you're thinking about selling next year, now's the time to give us a buzz.
Well, you've got that still opportunity to get people this year and next year, so we've got some very good strategic campaigns around that.
So strategic.
Brilliant. You're being boastful again. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into this week's version of GPTV, or this week's edition. We look forward to seeing you next week. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.
Bye for now.